Morning. Welcome to episode 13 of the $9 podcast with yours truly, Drewski, moderator of the Talking Shop Patreon, all around nerd do well, often mistaken for a curmudgeon, usually from the Falcon's Nest, and give me no rational shit. Uh, you should smile more. You don't. Yeah, it's like dance, monkey, dance. I'm not a puppet. So it's got to be earned. So this past week's been pretty interesting. Starting with the boys. Boys apparently gotten jealous of Mercedes Monet monopolizing all the women's titles and deciding to go out and doing tag team title on a tag team belt collector run. First up to NWA Center Stage Atlanta, where they had the ghost of WCW past been known to haunt the place. And from there, they went to AAW in Chicago, and they are brand new AAW tag team champions. And going straight from there, Red Eye, delayed flight, shocker, delayed international flight for the gun. Again, it's like seems almost every international flight, it's like clockwork. It's either delayed or he's got to jump through hoops to go somewhere. From Chicago, they went to Winnipeg Pro in Canada. I've always seen highlights of the match, and the boys got a little carried away doing magic killers. Listening to the crowd. The crowd kept asking for more, and boys are nothing if not crowd pleasers. So I ended up, some people said, final count was 4. And some people said it was 6. But the venue they were at was a nice looking venue, I have to admit. And it's nice that the boys have gold again. So they're batting 500 for the month. Like I told, like I tweeted a couple days ago. They're 3 for 6. They were 3 for 6 this month in title matches across the independents. 500 batting average is great for it's like Hall of Fame worthy in baseball. But it just gives the boys even more hassle in TSA when they pull the belts out and go whole lot of ribbon coming their way. And there's more title matches coming on the horizon. A couple dream matches for going into November that the boys will talk about. Then speaking of November, TalkNShop Live. TalkNShop Live is actually happening. The gun is still being vague about what the hell is going to happen. TalkNShop Live. Just go ahead and expect chaos. Because it is TalkNShop tradition. It's like you're going in. It's going to be nothing but Matt and nothing but insanity. But November 5th, immediately after AEW Dynamite, the boys are going live on YouTube. Maybe with yours truly, maybe not. Gun's keeping it close to the vest right now. It's basically probably won't decide until like the day of, which is as is tradition. It's like, oh, okay, I'll think. It's like the guys get distracted. He's got 5 kids running around the house, right? So his mind's all over the place. But the next day, the Hoots are flying out to see me in San Diego. At least that's what I'm going with. But they're officially coming out here a day early because for the Crash show on the 7th. As far as I know, Good Brother Andrade is still part of it. I guess, I reckon, right? if it's if it's like true Mexican tradition, it's like yeah, we're not gonna. They're just gonna do whatever the hell they want. So, but the boys might be out here early. The boys will be out here early, and there's a chance that I'm finally going to be meeting them after 11 years of talking shit to them on Twitter. And this will be my first opportunity to shake down LG for back pay from here. And that'll go over well. Uh, What better way to make a first impression than with a handout going, pay me? That does not go well. I'm expecting Magic Killer coming my way. I would not, you know, but then again, the boys have been known to say they're going to do something and then never do it. So as of now, I'm going on the assumption that we're going to be meeting for something. Don't know. Top secret mission, I don't know. Performance review, maybe. Right, we go. We'll see. We'll see indeed. So, and while I'm waiting, I'm just blatantly go ahead and plug the merch again because I actually made money. Actually made money. My first real money doing this shit, and I'm fucking stoked. I don't know if it's something like this, right? But I'm happy. You know, it means it's the way I look at it is like it's like a little bit more money than I had. It's better than nothing. You know, in lieu of pay, it's like hey, it's a it's a nice substitute. Over the weekend we had like Wrestle Dream, just AEW pay per view. There's an AEW pay per view coming. Buy it. Their track record right in the past 18 months in pay per views is just, no, it's a hallmark of that promotion. It's all bangers. It's like remember it's what people used to say about PWG. PWG would the only difference is PWG would do their cards like once a month, but they would be banger cards. The fact that they're doing it weekly, with that with that lineup, it's very inspiring, right? It's very inspiring because the whole card it's basically iron sharpening iron. It's like the best of the best, like working against each other and getting better overall, improving the product as a whole. I mean, so you had Brodito versus Takeshi Okada for the tag belts, and you uh, Bandito and Takeshi are the future are part of the future of that company. And that next 5 years they're going to be the main event scene between them, and Kyle Fletcher, maybe MJF and Kevin Knight probably. The future is bright for them. It's like they have guys just waiting in the wings, just chomping at the bit, ready to go. It's like they're getting tested. They're getting tested and getting tested often. And that's great because again, iron sharpens iron. They're only gonna get better learn how to do the TV wrestling. It's an interesting kind of TV wrestling, but it is still a TV wrestling at the end of the day. And we need to talk about Shelton Benjamin. I mean, my fucking god, the man is amazing. The release German suplex he did to Ricochet out of the ring is some Fire Pro Wrestling Fire Pro Wrestling create a wrestler move and done in real life, and it's like, and he could do it consistently. I mean, skipping ahead to skipping ahead a little bit to Dynamite because the match they had tonight with the Ops was like more of the same, more of that, like more of that. I'll get back to that in a little bit, but I need to talk more about Wrestle Dream. It's like Claudio, the Claudio's part with Darby. Darby has said it himself. He loves working with giants and guys, strong guys that can ragdoll the fuck out of him because it makes him more of a sympathetic face. And, but Claudio is a horse. He's always been a horse. Kevin Steen was right on, right on with the comparison. So all those years ago, it still holds up. And Claudio's in better shape now than he was like 5 years ago, which is scary. And I think I think he might be stronger. I think he might be stronger. And the I Quit match with Darby and Mox, I like what they're doing. Mox being shown to be a paper tiger, being shown to be a paper tiger as a character, and the having to get quit in that match has affected him and it's carried over into Dynamite, and it's going to carry over until Full Gear, I think, because it's like because it showed on Dynamite because he had a match with Kyle O'Reilly, and Kyle quietly is making a case for being in the making a very strong case to be in a Continental Classic lineup. The way he's been wrestling in the past couple months, it's like counter wrestling Moxley to the point where he's like confused the hell out of him. But in true to character, Moxley has become definitely afraid of being submitted. Brian Danielson's pointed it out on commentary tonight. That I've never seen Mox like this. I've never seen Mox, because he's used to seeing Mox, during the time of the Blackpool Combat Club, and see how he would react in certain situations, and he's different. This is a different Mox than the Blackpool, Blackpool Combat Club Mox. If the end game of this is finally the Mox finally get taking a vacation with Renee, finally taking a vacation, it's well deserved because he's put the company on his back since day one. He's been there, right? If anybody deserves like a little bit of time off to like get a second wind, take a bit of a breather, right? It's Mox. The timing's fun. It's funny because the Mad King is back. Eddie Kingston is back. I implore you all to watch the uh, latest Renee Paquette interview that you did in a spotlight interview she did with Eddie. It's like 25 minutes of ball busting. See, I'm used to Eddie ball busting because him and Cherry Bomb / Alley have like have a similar relationship that he has with that Eddie has with Renee, where it's basically they bully the shit out of each other like brothers and sisters. Just give each other nothing but problems. It's all good natured fun, right? It's very you know could I too bad too bad Eddie hasn't confronted Mox about the whole Death Rider thing, but hey, things happen. Sometimes sometimes timing's off. Nothing you can really do about it. It's like I also noticed that Darby did a promo tonight where he was throwing out, kept mentioning death matches. You're gonna have to kill me. You're gonna have to kill me. It's like, oh, the light bulb went off. It's like, oh, here it comes. They're gonna do the exploding ring death match later, sometime soon with Mox. Yeah, this is the end game. That's how they're gonna get. That's how they're gonna get there. It's just a matter of time. I don't know when. Could it be full gear? No. It's gonna have to be an outdoor event because there's too much of a liability. With an exploding ring. It's like that's like all the Anita match, exploding ring death matches were outdoors, and yeah, Bandito against Okada, the main event for last night's Dynamite, and you know, you know, talk about a main event push. It's like Bandito's getting it in spades. He's getting the rocket push, and it's great. The things he's doing with the KV, well, one shoulder, putting over, he's doing everything with like one arm, right? And Okada's having a hard time with a one arm Bandito until Okada's until until Okada hits the drop kick, and then it's like there you see the levels change, you see the gears change, and it's like you know what's coming. It's like as soon as he hits that drop kick, it's like oh fuck, it's on. They could have done 10 or 15 more minutes because it was starting to really click. But it's a good tease because they will come back to that match. Uh, maybe in the Continental Classic because you figure they're gonna introduce the brackets for that pretty soon, just like they introduced the brackets for the women's tag bracket, which is if you look at the women's tag bracket, it's like ooh, there's a whole lot of former Stardom talent scattered throughout that. There's some intriguing matchups, right? The the prospects of Athena and Mercedes as a team. It's great on paper, but it's going to implode because they're basically they're two alphas like Okada and Takeshita. It's like they can't really coexist. It's gonna end bad. It's gonna be hella entertaining, right? You got Mina and Tony. You got Willow and Willow and Harley. Interesting team. Penelope and Megan Bain. Megan Bain's very interesting. It'd be interesting where she goes. She goes. It's like if I have one regret, if I have one nitpick about that, it's like where's Her Highness? If, tag teams, they both Emmy Sakura and May Saruga, hi May, basically openly politicked about being in that tournament. And yet they were denied. Could it be like the commitments to Choco Pro? Maybe, maybe, but it's I look at it as saving the roster from a total beatdown because you let May and Emmy go full Joshi, they would wreck most of the people in that tournament. It's like except for the women that Emmy actually trained. Like Riho. You know, Riho and Windsor is an interesting tag team too. You would think it'd be Riho. Well, that's another thing. Riho and Nyla would have been an amazing tag team. Then you got Ty J. Everybody's writing off Ty J, but they're the team with the most experience. They're the OG. So they have there's so many underlying storylines in this tag women's tag tournament. It's very it makes it, it makes for great conversation. Because you're not really sure. And I only hope that the Continental Classic is the same way. I really do. Because you'll get like matches like like what they announced for Collision. It's like Ishii and Pac. Oh fuck! It's like I've been wanting that match for at least 10 years, right? It could have been, but it should have happened when it was like Prime Dragon Gate, Pac. But I'll take it. I'll take it because they will go at it and they will go. Just give them all the time in the goddamn world, right? 'Even at like a 20 minute, 30 minute, a 30 minute draw between those two would be amazing, which is what I hope happens, right? See, I really hope really hope that happens because I'm selfish. I want to see it. Sue me, right? So over in Connecticut, we journey to Connecticut, where WWE is flirting with the idea of using AI to bolster their creative. Now, some smartasses would, over the past year and a half, would argue they've been using AI to book the show. Yeah, I wouldn't be one of them though, but I understand why people would say that. Now, is it a good thing? No, no, it's not a good thing because if you what you hear about AI is basically they farm their AI. They use AI things to farm their ideas from like what's on the net already. So they're taking ideas from like what the IWC or like doing like on Reddit, like putting together joke matches and stuff, and they're gonna try and make them real, which is grounds for high hilarity if they take some of that shit seriously. And considering considering the direction they're going, yeah, lately wouldn't put it past them. Wouldn't put it past them. It's like there's some good things that happen in WWE. Some good things. The return of Ilya Dragunov. Ilya is a throwback. It's a throwback to like the SmackDown 6 era in terms of like intensity. I don't like to make the comparison to who. A certain Canadian that no one really talks about. Right? It's not allowed to be talked about in WWE anymore. Read between the lines on that one. But there's an authenticity to his matches, where it's like every match looks like a struggle, and that's it's very noticeable, and it stands out from a lot of the TV. Stands out from a lot of the TV matches that they have on Raw and on SmackDown, because you got to do something to stand out. And then you got Uncle Allen and Ferd being tag team champions at the same time on two different shows. Which is it coincidental, or are they setting them up for like for Tama and Tangaloa to take one or the other, or link up with them in the future? Because after all, the clock's ticking on AJ. Do they finally pull the trigger? We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to go back to Emmy for a second because Emmy has like her 30th anniversary of wrestling is going to be in a couple of weeks in Japan at Shinjuku Face. There's some amazing matches on the card. One of them involves the one of them involves the new Hayabusa, which is if you haven't don't know about the new Hayabusa, it's basically it's a Hayabusa was a legend and legendary Japanese wrestler. and somebody new has taken over the gimmick. It was give Frank Grab permission to take over the gimmick. He does it to a T, mannerisms and everything, and people to the point where people are thinking, did he fake his death? Did he fake his death or not? And it's like he is one of Will Ospreay's big inspirations in the business, and keep an eye on him because eventually Will, when he heals up, is going to face Hayabusa. I don't know when, don't know where, but it will happen soon. It will happen someday. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, the new Killer Cross documentary that came out is very was very eye opening. It was very eye opening because notice there was some teasing about AEW because because people you read between the lines. A whole lot of reading in between the lines in that documentary. Plus, he's hanging out with Darby, right? He's friends with Darby. So just keep an eye on it. I don't know when, but he's probably he's probably coming. Him and Scarlett. Don't know when. Uh, I could probably worst case scenario, you'll be the wild card for Double or Nothing Casino Battle Royal in a couple months. You know, but were they willing to wait that long? We'll see. We'll see. And everybody's going on about Samantha Irvin, Mrs. Ricochet, about having a 2-year non-compete. Celebrating she's halfway through it, and people the outcry about that. But you have to understand, it's like wrestling is still like you're only good as your word business, and a lot of talent don't use you like don't have representation when it comes to stuff like this, like lawyers or agents advising them because they should advise them on contract situations. Because I know I should have when taking LG's $9 a week offer. So read the fine print. It's like if I'd known then, it's like yeah, I would ask for 10. Well, speaking of let's wrap this up. Mhm. The $9 podcast shop at printify.me is where you can support your boy. I've got merch. Yeah. I've got merch. Holidays are coming up. La la la. This one that you did the hard sell. It's like if you like it, cool. It's like I'm not gonna force you to buy anything. It's like no, that's not it's not my way. It's like if you want to write and complain or give constructive criticism of this work in progress, go $9 podcasts at yahoo.com and hopefully uh, hopefully Machine Gun checks his DMs and puts this out in a timely manner.